following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, we'll be joined by DONAL WARE with BoxToRow.com. Also, Heather Williams with WCYB-TV out of Bristol. Talk a little NASCAR. Recap the Mid-State Classic between Tennessee and Memphis. The boys were there yesterday. Plus, reaction to the first four. The madness is underway. And speaking of madness, it is Wild and Wacky Wednesday. Now to a couple of softball-loving, sports-toting, zany guys from the Duck River area. Here's Mo and Chris.
We're something, all right. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is Hump Day here on Main Street Sports today. Coming at you live from Columbia, talking about all the sports that matter to you in the Mid-State. From Portland to Loretto, from Lebanon to Dixon, we got you covered. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. As JP said, we've got a great show lined up, and we are fired up to get into it. But as we do to begin each and every show, we have to give you the most up-to-date, the most timely and comprehensive coverage of high school and college and pro sports in the Mid-State. Well, pros from across the state, but you know. The results and schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown. All right, on the rundown today, it is fast and furious. We start with high school basketball from the TSSAA State Championships, the 2A quarterfinals. East Nashville over Summertown yesterday, 70-52. It was Power Center 40, Brainerd 39. Tyner over Bolivar Central 66-59, and Milan over York Institute 62-55. In the 3A quarterfinal, Stone Memorial Downs Bolton 77-64. Greenville over Jackson Northside 71-37. Clinton falls to Jackson Southside 52-47. Fulton over Fayette Ware 78-57. 4A quarterfinals underway as we speak. Third quarter action. It is Dobbins Bennett 37, Coffee County 34. That third quarter action. High school baseball from Tuesday. Ravenwood over Harmony out of Florida 8-3. Providence that's out of Florida. Downs Ravenwood 10-1. It was Westmoreland 9-6 over Northview Academy. Nolensville 17-8 winners over Coffee County. Westmoreland shut out by Monterey 2-0. Blackman 5-2 winners over Dobbins Bennett. Mount Pleasant shut out at home versus Forest. Lawrence County 3, Columbia Academy 0. Stewart's Creek 7-3 over Siegel. Warren County down Smyrna 7-6. Spring Hill 9-6 over Lewis County. Oakland falls to Tullahoma 5-4. Fairview 18, Culleoka 7. Hillwood over Stratford 16-4. And then over Whites Creek 22-3. Loretto shuts out Richland 4-0. Mount Juliet 2-1 winners over Dobbins Bennett. Beach 5-3 over Murfreesboro Central. Cornersville 6-3 winners over Santa Fe. Wilson Central falls to Rockville 4-2. It was Lebanon 3, Centennial 2. Frank Hughes 10-7 winners over Hampshire. Independence 4-2 over Hardin Valley. Clarksville 6-4 losers to Goodpasture. Dixon County 11. Montgomery Central 5. It was CPA 11, Pope Prep 0, and DCA 6-2 winners over MTCS. Softball action from yesterday. Coffee County 4-3 winners over Rockvale. Fulton 12-2 winners over Brentwood. Lawrence County 3-2 over Loretto. Forest 5-3 over Oakland. Huntland falls to Siegel 9-2, and Wilson Central over Blackman 4-0. Columbia Central downs DCA 3-2, and Columbia Academy 13-3 winners over Dixon County. On the pitch, boys soccer yesterday. Oakland 5-1 over Mount Juliet. Laverne 6-3 over Siegel. Station Camp 10-1 over White House. Baylor shutting out Columbia Central 1-0. Murfreesboro Central shuts out MTCS 9-0. NCAA men's basketball, the NIT last night, Vanderbilt at Memorial Gym, downs Belmont 82-71. Advancing in that tournament. It was in softball yesterday, junior college. Motlow 12, Columbia State 11. And that, of course, at the Mid-State Classic, a precursor to Tennessee's 8-4 win over Memphis, both of those in Columbia at Ridley Park. Florida State 5-3 over Lipscomb. JUCO baseball yesterday, doubleheader for the Chargers, 11-7 winners over Kalamazoo Valley, 6-4 in the second game. Ball State, a doubleheader of their own, falls to Wabash Valley, 17-12 and 12-11. Other college baseball, Vanderbilt downs Michigan 5-4. Tennessee over Eastern Kentucky 7-1. The Blue Raiders down Austin Peay 7-6. Belmont 8-7 winners over Western Kentucky in 10 innings. And Lipscomb 21-7 over Tennessee Tech. Again, that's a baseball final, not a football final. NBA action, Grizzlies 135-102 over that team that Taylor, whatever, Indiana. NHL, the Preds 4-1 winners last night. All right, schedule for today. Boys action at the state tournament, Bartlett and Beach, Bearden and Cane Ridge, Lebanon, and Clarksville, the final three of the 4A quarterfinals yet to come today. High school baseball today, Moore County at Spring Hill, Colioca at East Hickman. At the Playing for a Cure tournament, Westmoreland versus Pigeon Forge. They'll also take on Carnes. Down in Gulf Shores, Tuesday's game scheduled for Thursday now. Lipscomb Academy versus imagine that down at the coast. Lipscomb Academy and Claremore out of Oklahoma. Gallatin versus Hilldale, also out of Oklahoma. At the Grand Slam Classic, Rockville taking on Coffee County. Green Hill and Laverne. Columbia Central takes on Oakland. Siegel and Stewart's Creek will battle it out. Dobbins Bennett versus Smyrna. Dixon County and Tullahoma. And then it will be Shelbyville taking on, if I'm back my place, Murfreesboro Central. Hardin Valley versus Columbia Central. Henry County versus Clarksville. And at the Mookie Betts Metro Classic, Hillsboro and Hillwood. The P-Town Classic in Jacksonville, Florida. It is Ravenwood versus Florida State University out of Florida. Is that right?
That is what it says.
Right. It must be University High School.
University High School.
I'm sure it is,
State.
but it is named Florida State University High School.
Hey, it works.
Wow.
That works.
That's a little intimidating.
Isn't it?
Get your tomahawk chop going there. Boys soccer today, Wilson Central at Hendersonville. Zion Christian is at the Webb School. Little college baseball action today. Austin Peay hosts Evansville. Trevecca is at Union. Softball today in the world of college. The MTSU hosting Austin Peay. Quinnipiac at Lipscomb. Bellarmine at Tennessee State in a doubleheader. Bellarmine. Thank you. You mine men. And that is, I believe, all for today's rundown. Hit the scoreboard.
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
And if we missed you, sorry.
There you go.
Bellarmine in Louisville. Louisville and Bellarmine.
I only got one. That's not bad.
Answer.
Yeah, Bellarmine.
There
you go.
I said Bellarmine for a while too, so don't feel bad.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you read it like it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It phonetically, we're not wrong.
No. They should learn how to pronounce their name.
That's right.
There you go.
Talking to you, Santa Fe.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Again,
totally kidding.
Again, phonetically.
Totally
Address
kidding.
all those emails to that JP Plant at MainStreetMediaTN.com.
We love you,
I
Santa
got
Fe.
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Phonetically, they're not wrong.
We have some Santa Fe listeners.
I know. Yeah, I know. And we love them. Yeah.
Yeah. However they pronounce
I
their
didn't
name.
finish. The Santa Fe listeners in New Mexico is who I was getting to. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're saying it wrong.
Looking at you, New Mexico. Get it right.
New Mexico.
Come on, New Mexico.
Oh, man.
Nice save.
Get the green chili out of your face and get it right.
Our first pitch today comes from yesterday's Mid-State Classic, where there's full coverage on MainStreetMurray.com. Please go check it out. And
Please.
Mo Patton and his team did a fantastic job covering that yesterday. Look, I'm just glad to be part of the team.
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
I'm just glad to be part of the team.
We all just want to be a part of something,
I'm glad to have a team.
and he lets us be a part of his team. So
Thank
that's
goodness.
Whatever.
You know, it's funny though, because I mean, coverage wise, we did cover it as a show. So, I mean, we did team up for coverage. It's just funny that
it would be my team, so to speak.
It's your team.
Yeah. Well,
You supposed to be the coach, right?
I gotta say, Chris is feeling springy. If you're only listening and not watching, then you are missing out on the mint green.
This is brand
polo.
new.
I can tell.
I love
it. Looks like it's just out the package, bro.
It is.
I was curious what color you were going to call that, Mo. Mint green. That's pretty good.
What would you call
I
it?
don't know. I was curious because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You could go in a lot of different directions, but
It's not metallic mint green like the Buick Skylark.
Oh, good Lord.
wow, metallic.
mint
Mint
green.
green.
Yeah,
That's-
like the Buick Skylark,
I guess
which
you
could
could.
never ever be confused with a Corvette.
Thank you.
Marissa Tomei.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't remember her name.
I
in
don't
the
remember her
movie.
character name either. Yeah, but oh, good Lord.
We are off the rails. Mid-State Classic,
yeah.
Tennessee wins 8-4 over Memphis, but had to do it and come from behind fashion.
Yeah, after Memphis put up 4 in the first, got a 3-run home run from
Where the guy caught it in the outside the
while
fence
holding
the
his
baby. That's pretty impressive.
That's solid. Almost as solid as you getting a picture.
When I
of
saw
it.
the picture, I was like, "Oh, this has got to go in there."
Oh, no question. No question. Yeah. Taylor Smirt.
Yeah,
I guess is how you pronounce that.
No E,
Can I
no
buy a vowel,
I.
please? Yeah.
No vowels in that name.
SMRT for Memphis. Put them up early, and Tennessee chipped back and finally went out front 5-4 in the
Fifth, I think, bottom of the fifth
on Amanda Ayala's 2-run home run that drove in former Zion Christian standout Anna Fox.
which
So-
was the most important part of that story, by the way.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. After the game,
Mhm.
they take the team picture, and I'm pretty sure the catcher is the one holding the trophy. And so I whisper, "Hey, give the trophy to Anna real quick." And so she hollers, "Anna, this one's for you." And I'm just like getting all teary eyed because that was pretty touching. And Anna's like, "Are you serious?" Like she was getting, teared up. So it was a really cool moment. And that's when I was able to get the picture with her. It was really cool though.
Well, and it was also cool because you had left by then, but when I got down to the field and was able to get her attention, she looked over her shoulder and kind of did a double. Oh, what are you doing here? It's like, well, I kind of work here, because obviously we knew each other.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. And so, yeah, real good stuff for Anna Fox for UT, which remains undefeated in the Mid-State Classic with their second win over Memphis, along with 2 over MTSU and 1 over Belmont. So, and stay tuned because next year's opponent has yet to be announced. And from talk around the ballpark, could be a headliner.
Could be. That undefeated record could be on the
In
line.
jeopardy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to take a break. DONAL, WARE, Box to Row Sports comes at you on the other side. So stick around because we're going to talk about the Southern Heritage Classic and the lawsuit that is now apparently involved in this thing. So things are getting dicey in Memphis. Stick around. We'll find out about how it's going to play out on Main Street Sports today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today on this Hump Day edition. Glad to have you guys with us as we get ready for the remainder of the Blue Cross Basketball Championships, Blue Cross Hoops. We will be live on location Friday for the Class 4A semifinals and I guess the 3A semifinals.
That sounds right.
Hold on. We will be on location Friday, which will have the 3A semifinals, the 4A semifinals, and the 1A semifinals. So there you go. It's nice to have that handy.
That's the old cheat sheet. Yeah.
Ahead of
3A
Saturday's
semis
championships.
and since this is Friday, these times are all
Yes.
yeah. So the 3A semifinals at 10 and 11:30, the 4A at 1:15 and 2:45, and the 1A at 4:30 and 6. And that 2:45 semifinal could involve the Cane Ridge Ravens, coached by Marlon Sims.
And that's what we're hoping to go see.
Yeah.
We want to see Marlon Sims coach.
Exactly. So
See him coach.
want to watch him coach. Contrary to his,
A lot of folks out there who
want to see Brandon Miller, but we want to see Marlon Sims coach.
So yeah, again, we'll be live on location. Real quick, broke the story this morning, Mo, and if you picked up our paper yesterday, you might have known it a little bit ahead of time. Summertown has a new football coach.
They do. They were in the market for one after Bobby Sharp was hired as Columbia Central's coach from Lewis County. He grabbed one of his former players, Dakota Cruz, who had been Summertown's head coach this past year and defensive coordinator the year before that. So Summertown was in the market for a coach. They got one, and they got a pretty good one.
And I mean, in all reality, from speaking to some of my coaching friends in this area, little surprising that he chose that job instead of the one Bobby Sharp left. Now, if you read the story, you'll find out what the biggest reason was for him choosing Summertown. So, choosing to leave Rockville for Summertown. There's your tease. There's your information. Do with it what you will. MainStreetMurray.com. And you can find out.
We should probably let them know who it is. So.
You guys are good at bearing the lead, I tell you.
It's called stringing them along.
I know. By the way, we're about 4 minutes away from Donald. So
Okay, cool.
4 minutes away.
Oh, we can. Hey, we're not on any time constraints here. Tell them who it is, Mo.
Rick Rice, who led Wayne County to a 2011 Class A state championship, is the new coach at Summertown. He has been at Rockville for the past 3 years, led the Rockets in their third season of football competition to the Class 6A playoffs. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been successful pretty well everywhere he's been. 210 career wins in 31 seasons, 6 double-digit seasons. Again, a state championship in 2011, and coached 3 Mr. Football winners, including 2 of his sons. 2 of his 3 sons. The one son that did not win Mr. Football did win the state championship. So
that works.
He's probably got bragging rights, I would think.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So
rings over trophies, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, that story is available for your reading pleasure at mainstreetmurray.com. One other thing I was going to mention, I forgot what it was. Darn. Completely forgot.
It'll come back to you.
I guess it had something to do with high school. But anyway, a quick update to that boys basketball state championship game. Dobbins Bennett, who was trailing at halftime, 28-25, has now taken a 7-point lead, 53-46, with just under 3 minutes to go in that Class 4A quarterfinal over Coffee County. So I'm not going to say they're definitely going to win, but they certainly have a better chance than they did a minute ago. So there you go. It looks like DONAL is attempting to get in. So we will talk to him here in just a second. But again, to set this up, Jackson State and Tennessee State, who play or have played annually in Memphis at the Southern Heritage Classic, Jackson State tried to pull out of their contract and then decided to go ahead and play the 2022 game, but would not play past 2022. The Southern Heritage Classic promoters
said, we got a contract.
But you signed this contract, see? And
yeah.
And to me, that seems like you should, keep playing this game as long as it says so on this contract. Now, understandably, I get both sides of this. I get Jackson State is already playing in 2 classics and now another one with the SWAC challenge or whatever. But Tennessee State is now losing a game. Tennessee State is the one who loses here, along with Memphis, obviously. But Tennessee State's the one who's got to go out and find another ball game.
I don't understand the both sides side of this, because again, there's a contract.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure that Deion Sanders was involved with. No, listen.
The contracts do not become null and void just because of a coaching change.
When it depends on the people who signed the contract. Are they still there? Then let's go for it. There's a good argument to be had on the other side, and I'm not going to get into it here, but I understand where they're coming from. Look, there's a lot going on, the logistics of everything. They shouldn't have agreed to the SWAC challenge until this contract was over, is what should have happened. Or the SWAC should have done this with someone else. That's not what happened. So now there's a lawsuit, and the Southern Heritage Classic has the paperwork to back it up. So let's dive in.
Let's do.
Because from Box to Row Sports, joining us now is DONAL WARE. Donald, thanks for taking some time with us. We appreciate it. Tell us what you know, what you know latest on this lawsuit involving the Southern Heritage Classic and Jackson State.
Yep, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me. So, I mean, what I know is just, the report that I read with respect, and I've read it in footballscoop.com. And I've worked with Fred Jones in the past. And I mean, the Southern Heritage Classic has done he and his staff have done a great job, in terms of promoting it. If you're asking me my opinion, I mean, I just think that, and I heard you guys talking, I think a lot of it is you have these conversations not public, right? Like I think when you look at Deion Sanders, he's doing a little bit too much, in my opinion, because he's the football coach. You have an athletics director, you have a president. So I think these are some conversations that if you're not satisfied with the amount of return you're getting, then that's fine. Let's have those conversations with the company, and then figure out, okay, how can we, better do this moving forward. I thought the initially with them just saying we're not going to play the game was very bad. At least coming back to the table and saying we're playing it one more year was better. But still, you still got 2 years left on the contract, and when you sign a contract, I mean, you should honor that contract. So I don't know. I just think it's a bad look all the way around. It's not good for whether it's Jackson State, whether it's Tennessee State, whether it's SMC. Now even the state of Mississippi is to a degree involved in this too. So it's just not a good look all the way around.
Donald Ware with box2row.com, one of the leading voices on historically black colleges and universities athletics coverages in the country, probably, with us here on Main Street Sports today. Donald, this is just one front for Tennessee State to deal with these days, because as you look at their membership in the Ohio Valley Conference, they're kind of up against it with the membership changes that they've had here over the last year or so. And this is a fan base that certainly a faction thereof has championed moving to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, which is where Jackson State is, by the way, for a long time. Do you feel like there has been any that has gained any traction? Or are we anywhere close to that actually becoming a reality, TSU to the SWAC?
I don't think so. I personally don't think so. And to your guys' point, I've been doing box to row for about 16 years now, and there's been a lot of talk of that over the years, the possibility of that. But I think where Tennessee State sits right now, because if you listen to the comments by the athletics director when he spoke with the Tennessean, I mean, they're looking to make an FBS move, so possibly. It'd take a lot of work to do that. I mean, even if you look at a program like a North Carolina A&T, who I'm the play-by-play voice for A&T. I don't have all the intimate details within the athletics department, but I mean, it's going to take a lot of money for even A&T to compete now in the Colonial Athletic Association. So you got to be able to raise that kind of money if you're Tennessee State. But I think if you're Tennessee State and you're looking to make a move to the FBS, as the athletics director has stated, then to me, it wouldn't make any sense to make a move to the SWAC. Now, let's say you're not making the move to an FBS conference. And by the way, I mean, if you're going to make a move to the FBS conference, to an FBS conference or a group of five, I mean, you definitely want to go American and MAC. Right? I mean, those are the 2 ones. Like everybody else, I mean, when you look at the TV money and all that, it's not that great when you look at Conference USA and so on and so forth. But even if they don't make that move, you now have sort of a situation where the Big South and the OVC have aligned in terms of a football agreement. So is that now the thing about the SWAC though. It is a traditionally, as you all know, HBCU conference. It's got a lot of notoriety and all of those kind of things. So if you're looking for that, then maybe it is a good move. But I don't know. I think where Tennessee State is right now, from what I've read, I think Tennessee State would be looking more for a move to the FBS than it would be looking to make a move to the SWAC.
Unfortunately, that gets infinitely harder as the new constitution has been ratified across the FBS. So I'm not sure that any move is possible at this point because they'd need to do it in the next year and a half. And I don't think that's anywhere near a possibility. So that's unfortunate.
Meanwhile, the OVC is kind of crumbling around them, it feels like. And this wouldn't just be a football-driven move when you think about the fact that Belmont is leaving the conference as well to go to the Missouri Valley. You know, Murray's going to the Missouri Valley. Austin P is going to the ASUN. Is that right? Eastern Kentucky's already gone. Again, they've got the football alliance with the Big South, but other sports are going to suffer as well. It feels like, as long as TSU continues in the Ohio Valley Conference. Now they've brought in Lindenwood. They brought in, they've got Indiana, Southern Indiana, I'm sorry, moving up from D2. I guess Lindenwood will be moving up as well. But it feels like a lot of uncertainty to me with the OVC, and I'm a guy who kind of grew up in the OVC, having attended Middle Tennessee State when it was a member, but it just feels like things are really tenuous with this conference at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I just don't know from, you know, and maybe there are some talks with other, you know, more expansion in terms of partnership with either the Big South and the OVC, or perhaps another conference for the non-football piece, to your point, so the basketball piece and all of the other sports as well. Perhaps there'll be some conversations beyond with respect to that. But again, the way that the athletics director is talking, I you know, they're looking to that would definitely be a lateral move. If you know, again, does it make sense from a historical standpoint? Well, yeah, it does, because you know, it's an HBCU, meaning Tennessee State, amongst other HBCUs, which you currently have 12 of now. But again, maybe the OVC may be having some other conversations with either the Big South or some other conferences in terms of partnerships with respect to some of the other sports. And I'm hoping, because you're right, if they're not having those conversations, then you do have a big issue.
The reason we talked about the SWAC and Tennessee State is because Jackson State is obviously in the SWAC, and that would eliminate some of these issues.
Yeah,
potentially.
because if Tennessee State and Jackson State are in the same conference, and I guess the Southern Heritage, as it relates to those two, is no longer. Well,
it could continue.
I guess it could continue, or you would just go home and home, or you could go home in Memphis in a 3-year rotation. I mean, it creates some opportunities that, as long as they're in separate conferences, don't necessarily exist. Certainly going to be interesting watching the Southern Heritage Classic dynamic, as well as TSU and what happens with them. So, interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so,
yeah,
you know, where we stand now is there will be a game played in 2022 in Memphis. Beyond that, we're not sure. Depends on the result of this lawsuit. If an injunction, I guess, could be filed and they make them play. I don't know. I mean, but people buy out of contracts in sports all the time. So it could just be a buyout.
It could be. I mean, because I think SMC has a really good case. I mean, that's the thing about it. They have a really, I mean, to your point, it's in writing. You've got, you know, I don't, you know, Jackson State, I think there's just too many people talking on behalf of Jackson State in this particular situation. Now, maybe Deion Sanders is the spokesman for Jackson State by way of what the athletics director, maybe they mandated. I have no idea. All I'm saying is you have a situation to me where Deion Sanders, and what he's saying is, you know, it's a check that Jackson State's not going to be able to cash because of some of the things that he's saying here. Mm-hmm. And I think SMC has a really, really good case. So, you know, we'll see. You're right. I mean, could they make an injunction to possibly make them play. I don't know, but there would be some kind of financial windfall out of this if Jackson State were not to play in this game, and all parties agree, all parties don't agree. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, if your Jackson State is playing in these other games, worth not playing in the Southern Heritage Classic because you have to pay a fine or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of question marks, and it's just really an unfortunate situation for one of the better classics with respect or in HBCU football.
There you go.
No doubt. No doubt. Donald Ware with box2row.com with us here on Main Street Sports today. Donald, really appreciate your time and your insight, and we may be reaching back out to you as this situation continues, because it doesn't sound like it's going away anytime soon.
No, we'll be talking about it on our show this weekend, and I've got some more thoughts, especially from the Jackson State side of things. But I agree, and I just hope it does, guys, because it's too great a I get Deion Sanders made some statements I agree with. Hey, why do we necessarily need, in part, I should say, agree with. Why do we need a promoter to promote our game? I'm good with, but that's fine, right? Because maybe you could promote it yourself. I don't know, but SMC has been doing it for in excess of 30 years. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You want more money? Let's have that conversation. That's all.
It's not a football game. It's an event, and you need somebody to put on the rest of the stuff.
And part of the reason that the Southern Heritage, that Fred Jones is doing it, is because I got the impression the schools didn't really want to. And I don't know that they do want to. So it's going to be interesting to watch this thing progress and see where it goes from here. But again, Donald, thanks for your time, man. Tell people where they can find you and your show.
Very good. Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and the show, you can listen to the show Fridays, 6 p.m. Central Time, that's 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU Radio on Sirius XM. And then also Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Sirius XM Channel 142. And then they can also, if they want to listen to a radio station across the country that carries the program, then just log on to our website at box2row.com and click on the affiliate link.
There you go. Thank you, Donald. We appreciate it, man.
You got it. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Donald Ware, box2row.com, talking about the Southern Heritage Classic and Tennessee State and Jackson State and all that goes with it. And there's a lot going on with it right now. So plenty to get to. All right, let's talk some March Madness on the other side of the break. It will be a little, it won't be short, but it won't be long. So yeah, come back with us.
Just right, huh? For Cinder, Goldilocks.
Goldilocks,
there we go.
Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this on Main Street Sports Today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in to Main Street Sports Today as we are continuing this Hump Day edition almost on the backside of Hump Day. No halftime today because we need to get into some NCAA tournament stuff. One, Last night was not great for my Cinderella hopes because I really thought Wyoming had an opportunity, but Indiana said, not so fast, my friend. We're still part of the Big Ten.
Whatever that means.
Here's the thing. I thought whoever won that game was going to beat St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you still feel that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
absolutely still feel that way.
I did not realize that Mike Woodson was the coach at Indiana, nor did I realize he went to Indiana
Oh yeah.
until last night. So
I realized it. Played for obviously Robert Montgomery Knight.
Robert Montgomery.
And he has been heralded as the guy who's going to bring the Indiana basketball community back together. I mean, he's got Knight's approval, which may be the first coach that's been there since he left that actually got the seal of approval from Knight. But it's been a struggle, I think.
I mean, we've seen what Tom Crean can do to a program. So,
Man,
I mean, getting back from that is not necessarily easy, even if you are Indiana.
I tell you what, I guess Dwayne Wade was a more significant college basketball player than we imagined, because that's been the guy. I guess that's the guy who put Marquette on the map, and Crean just happened to be there at the time, I guess. But since then,
Well, he obviously can recruit individual players, highly talented individual players. Now, can he coach a team or coach a program? Obviously,
thus far, the answer
no.
seems to be no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at Indiana and at Georgia. And, you know, it's odd to me that Georgia basketball struggles when you talk about all of the talent in that Atlanta area. I mean, if you could just put up a fence, as some coaches like to say.
It's not that easy, though. Not in college basketball. College basketball is a different world. And Georgia's just not known for it.
Again, though, if you get that one transcendent player like that Dwayne Wade, and you don't need nearly as many for basketball as you do for football.
Sure.
So, I don't know. It's odd dynamic.
Nonetheless, Indiana looked really good last night. I think they'll beat St. Mary's. And we heard this on whatever show we were watching yesterday, but St. Mary's plays they like to slow the ball down. They want to play a half-court offense. Well, in the NCAA tournament, that's how you get beat, because games end up being 50-46, and it's easy to stick around against a team who can't go on a long run.
did you notice where that game is going to be played and where Indiana has to travel to?
Oregon?
Portland.
Portland, Oregon. So in 44 hours from the end of the game last night, they had to travel to Portland and play that game, which is not far from St. Mary's campus.
Well,
a lot closer than Indiana or Dayton is.
That's a long, long flight.
It is, but I don't think it's going to matter.
It may not.
Here's the reason, and that's the reason why, is because St. Mary's wants to play half-court offense, so it's not like they're going to get too tired. They're not going to be running up and down the court. So the second half and the last 5 minutes isn't going to be them gassed, is my point. So that's how you get beat in the NCAA tournament, especially by a good team like Indiana. So anyway, talk about Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt gets a win last night over Belmont. Had to come back to do it. Belmont jumped out pretty early and held on for most of the first half, but then Vanderbilt in the second half really put it on them.
I hate that this was a first round NIT matchup, because, you know, a win in this environment would have been huge for Casey Alexander and Belmont. But at the same time, the continued emergence of Jordan Wright for Vanderbilt has been really, really nice. And it's something for them to kind of hang their hats on going into this offseason, where however far they go in the NIT and coming back for next year, because you got to feel like Scottie Pippen Jr. is gone.
You would think, again, depends on the projections, but talking about Jordan Wright, you know, and Scottie Pippen, he only scored 10 points last night. Was like 2 of 7 from the field.
Pippen?
Yep. 0 for from 3-point range. but you had Jordan Wright scoring 20 plus. Chapman, of course, is staying healthy, which means a lot. And then the big tall center, Leon Robbins. Yeah, he's just a slow progression, getting better and better every game. And then that makes Malora Brown even that much more better. You know, they had combined last night like 24 points and nearly 20 rebounds between the two of them. That's pretty good from that center position.
I'm going to tell you what, man, Jordan Wright in that Kentucky game.
Oh, I thought he was going to bring him back by himself. If they had another minute and he got a couple more shots, I think they would have done
the
it.
arc.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot to like about this Vanderbilt team right now. And that was the question in a lot of folks' mind. You know, what does a healthy Vanderbilt team look like? Well, I think you're seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Vanderbilt, you know, one of the things that they did last night is they went to the zone defense. And typically against Belmont, if you go to a zone, they're going to shoot you out of it pretty quick. Well, they didn't last night. So worked out.
It worked out for Vanderbilt.
We cannot get to this.
Okay.
Because it is far too deep of a discussion to get to today.
I think the swag bags again.
I think it will still.
It's very relevant tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
As well. So we'll talk about it tomorrow, and I'll be able to give JP the pictures because I think it's important for folks to see the difference. And
yeah, that was a big thing last year, obviously.
So
equity, not so much.
See how far they've come, if at all,
or haven't.
Well, there's equity, and yet it's somehow worse. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Let's take a break. Come back with the second half because we need to talk about the Braves. We need to talk about some NASCAR, and it's still Wild and Wacky Wednesday. So all of that coming up right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Second half action on this Hump Day edition of Main Street Sports today will include a guest of Heather Williams, WCYB-TV from Bristol, talking a little NASCAR. Also, continue to react to the Braves and the moves now that we know baseball is coming back. Plus, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday. That's right. Stay tuned. That's all coming straight ahead. Now back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
That's right. The weirdest and wildest news from across the world comes at you in the final segment.
And I feel fairly positive there will be a Florida man mentioned somewhere in there.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not Wild and Wacky without it.
No. It really isn't.
It's just wild.
Sometimes Florida woman is even better though. As last week. The lady who just tried to walk out with the groceries. and then say, call Kim, the manager. Call Kim, your
Call Kim.
manager. And then Kim's not a manager there. It was a good try, though.
At least you tried.
At least you tried. Sarah went to the Lewisburg Walmart today instead of the Columbia Walmart.
Why?
Well, one, because it's easier to get in and out of. Two, she said, man, this Walmart is really nice. It's in order. All the things are front and faced. The baby stuff is like, it's its own little store over here. She's like, this is amazing. I said, well, don't tell anybody. It'll be our little secret. She's like, well, I already told so-and-so. And I was like, oh, well.
There goes the neighborhood.
Now
right?
everybody's going to go to Lewisburg Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because nobody's listening to us. So, yeah, you'll be fine.
I was like, oh, crap. Anyway, let's talk about the Braves.
Let's do
Instagram. Today's Instagram post from @Freddie Freeman. Braves country, I don't even know where to begin. For the past 15 years, I got to be a part of your organization. Not a part, but a part of your organization. It was truly an honor. We went through the very highs together and some lows, but those lows is what made last year so special. You watched me grow up from a baby-faced kid to marrying my love, Chelsea Freeman 5, and seeing us bring 3 beautiful boys into this world. I'm so glad my family got to be a part of yours. One word. Good job. To Snit, my coaches, teammates, training staff, clubhouse staff, and everyone who made Turner Field and Truist Park so special for my family and I over the years, period. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Well, he's a baseball player, folks. It has been a blast to have you cheer for me, and I hope I was able to bring smiles to a lot of your homes over the years. I gave you everything I had day in and day out, and I hope you guys saw that as well. Although our time has come to an end, I look forward to seeing and playing in front of you all again. When that time comes, I hope you remember all the wonderful memories we made together. I love you, Braves country, champions forever. Love, Freddie, Chelsea, Charlie, Brandon, and Maximus. And I said, we'll always have Houston.
Don't cry that it's over, smile that it happened.
There
right?
you go.
Yeah.
No reason. I mean, let's not get crazy here. If there were no sentimental attachment to Freddie Freeman, this would be one of the most exciting off seasons in Braves history.
I still think it is.
No, but I mean, I think a lot of the excitement has been dampened by the loss of Freddie Freeman.
I think you got to be objective about it, though. I mean, and sitting here as a scrolling through Twitter as we were wont to do, Jim Bowden, GM, an hour ago, multiple executives believe that Freddie Freeman and his representatives may have overplayed their hand.
Absolutely.
So it will be interesting to see his final contract. Rays, Dodgers, Padres, Red Sox, which the Padres have a first baseman. He's on the market, but they have one, Eric Hosmer. But yeah, it's as this thing continues to unfold, there's a lot of nuance here, I think, but it feels like, again, Freddie asked for a number, wouldn't budge off the number, or wouldn't come far enough for Anthopoulos and the Braves to feel comfortable. So they're like, okay, we're going to go in another direction. And all of a sudden, Freddie's like, oh, shoot. Now what? And I'll be interested again to see what the numbers are when he does finally sign. And it might be a situation where Freddie not just overplayed his hand, but comes in at less than what the Braves were willing to do, which would really be unfortunate.
Yeah, it would. But
what they were able to get done with Matt Olson, and then bringing in a swing guy like Colin McHugh, who has had some success under the radar here over the last few years, and then bringing back the National League Championship Series most valuable player, Eddie Rosario.
This is my favorite paragraph from the Colin McHugh signing, who is a right-handed pitcher, by the way, as the universal DH looms. McHugh, who bats and throws right-handed, has a 64-44 record.
Yeah, dude.
He's been in the American League for quite some time. He hasn't batted in a while.
I don't think it matters what he bats. Yeah, that's good to know. But yeah.
But by the way, in case y'all were curious, Colin McHugh is an Atlanta resident who went to Providence Christian Academy in Lilburn, Georgia, and attended Berry College. So
Berry College in Rome.
As the Braves are wont to do, signing Atlanta area talent. It's
Nick Markakis out of Young Harris.
Out of Young Harris, baby.
Yeah. Get all those local guys. Well, it speaks to the talent, though, in the area.
It speaks to the talent, and it's always worked. Tell me a time that they've signed an Atlanta area native and it didn't work.
Can't think of one. I mean, they brought Marquise Grissom back. All he did was catch the final out of the World Series in '95.
I mean, even Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward's downfall was getting hit in the face. All right. If he never gets hit in the face, I think he becomes the star we all thought he was going to be. That's neither here nor there.
He still had one heck of a major league career.
Great. Yeah.
It's just not been on the trajectory that opening day home run off of Carlos Zambrano might have indicated.
He would have been a star if he doesn't get hit in the face. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that's matter of fact. One of our future top fives will be top 5 what ifs in sports. And
I like that.
Playing off of another Jeff Pearlman with the Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's broad, but I like it.
So anyway,
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. I just think if he doesn't get hit in the face, because that's scary.
Sure,
every time a 90-mile-an-hour fastball comes at you and you think it might hit me in the face again,
no, thank you.
It makes you think a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Colin McHugh is a huge signing. Eddie Rosario back today. They signed Alex Dickerson on a non-guaranteed major league contract worth $1 million. He's an outfielder.
Okay.
I mean, this is really one of those phenomenal off seasons from the folks, Alex Anthopoulos and this Braves staff, man.
And it really went from what are we going to do to
and
can April 7th get here any quicker?
Who was the other reliever we signed that was a closer?
Kirby Yates.
Yes, Kirby Yates coming off Tommy John.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you've got Charlie Morton, who apparently threw BP yesterday and is looking fine, like he's going to be able to start early in the year. This certainly seems to be an opportunity for the Braves to continue their success. Now, I did see the Phillies made a free agent move today. Pitcher. Hold on. Oh, who was it? I'm very frustrated because I can't find who it was. But it was a pretty big signing, or at least it's a name that I recognized.
Well, they signed Kyle Schwarber.
That's it, Kyle Schwarber.
Brad Hand.
Yeah. So again, the NL East.
Juris Familia.
If there is a best division, or at least most talented division in baseball, it's the NL East.
They still got to come through Atlanta.
We
didn't get to talk about it. We'll talk about it at another time. I don't know what this outfield looks like with who we've got out there right now before Acuna gets back. So I think that'll be interesting.
I think it's going to end up being
Duvall, Rosario,
and no, there was the other one. And Heredia maybe in center. Who knows? Anyway, let's talk to Heather Williams about some NASCAR on the other side of the break. Stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today here on this Hump Day edition. It is Wild and Wacky Wednesday, the weirdest and wildest news from across the world coming at you in the next segment. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get to it, but we are going to talk about some NASCAR first. And to do that, we always enjoy our time with the best in Bristol, the East Tennessee queen, if you will, Heather Williams of WCYB-TV, who maybe gets a chance to come down here. Are you going to get a chance to come down here Saturday, Heather, if Greenville makes their way to the state championship?
Yeah. You mean when Greenville makes it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yesterday.
After yesterday,
Yes,
70-something, 37, that was a blowout.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, one of the other teams from our area won today as well, in Dobbins Bennett. So, yeah, whatever teams from our area make it down there on Saturday, I'll be down there.
Why do you wait till Saturday, Heather?
Because we cover a ton more than just high school sports, and we just don't have the resources to come down for the whole week.
Boo.
There are more sports than high schools?
There's sports other than high school sports.
I know,
unaware. It's hard to believe.
I did not know.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Well, we were in Richmond last weekend because we cover Virginia as well, for their state championship game. So, yeah, we rely on help from some other people to get highlights of some quarterfinals and semifinals, and then we go down for the championship game.
Well, I definitely think you're going to find yourself down here.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Gillespie looked every bit the Mr. Basketball winner that he is in that opening round game. I think they were trying to send a little bit of a statement because they haven't been the top ranked team all year, and I think they were trying to let everybody know who's still boss.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned you were in Richmond. I've made the drive from here to Virginia Beach, and from the Tri-Cities to Richmond is not a short drive.
No, it's about 5.5 hours. It's a little bit shorter than it would be for us to come out there for the state tournaments in Tennessee to Murfreesboro. But yeah, neither one of the state championship games are close for us.
NASCAR, however, is close for you, or can be.
3 miles from my house, to be exact.
That's awesome. As Chris was prepping me, because we know I'm not the biggest NASCAR guy, the run of first-time champions continued this past weekend.
Yeah, fourth winner in 4 weeks, and if you want to throw in the Clash at LA in the Coliseum, it's 5 different winners in 5 different races. And if you want to throw in the duels, then it's 7 winners in 7 races. So, yeah, this new car has provided a lot of opportunities for new drivers to get victories because we've had 2 first-time winners as well. But I also think that the drivers are just getting better, right? There's just more parity. Every young driver that comes up is better and more prepared than the generation before them. So I think it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Chase Briscoe becomes the 7th consecutive different driver to win at Phoenix. So it's Phoenix
And I
is
believe it's something like, I think it's something like 7 straight races where the drivers have won under the age of 27 or something like that, which is a record. It's crazy how much parity and how many different drivers, different types of drivers that are winning, and new drivers. And Chase Briscoe is such a good kid, such a good story. I was really excited to see him in victory lane on Sunday.
And what a weird race it was. I mean, from the beginning, when you saw cars going 2 or 3 car lengths below the yellow line to pass 2 or 3 cars, it was just a weird race because Phoenix is such a difficult place to pass, on normal green flag laps, that it was almost necessary to get that extra boost on the restarts.
Yeah, and you see that happen a lot at the 1.5 miles, right? They'll cut that corner because, I mean, what's the shortest distance between 2 places, right? A straight line. So if you're not dependent on the banking for speed, then cutting that corner makes a lot of sense, especially at a place that's hard to pass. So you don't need as much on the short track, but Phoenix is one of those tracks that drives kind of like a short track and like an intermediate track. So I wasn't surprised at all to see them diving in and cutting those corners because, as you mentioned, passing was at a premium.
Passing is always at a premium in Phoenix. But moving to this week, because I think it's pretty impressive what Atlanta has been able to do. They've resurfaced the track. So you've got a new car on a new surface. This could get very interesting because nobody knows what to expect.
Yeah, I had the crew chief tell me that this race this weekend could be horrifying because they're going to be stupid fast because they've taken this track that's already fast but had a ton of tire fall off, right? Which slowed the cars down after about 10 laps. And you take that tire fall off now. So now they're just, pushing 200 miles an hour the whole time. It's basically a super speedway on a 2-mile track. And it's going to be white knuckles, like on the edge of your seat. These drivers, you'll probably see, I would guess, I mean, you remember what it was like at Fontana, the first practice and qualifying, all the spins and all the people losing control. Maybe probably see a lot of that at Atlanta, especially early on in the practices.
And with that, what about this tire situation? We saw a tire completely fall off. I mean, you picked a fine time to leave me, Loose Wheel. Again, that single lug nut just pops off and the tire is gone. I mean, at what point do we have to fix this?
Well, I think that NASCAR should probably consider run, and I don't know how they do it with the way that they're running the wheels right now because they're running them in a fashion that doesn't allow for an interliner with the single lug. And so, but I think they need to try to consider if you get the interliner back in there because you saw the wheel come off, yes, but you also saw the absolute havoc that a car losing a tire played on Martin Truex Jr.'s car. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was destroyed. And so, they've got to figure out something about with that, and I'm not sure how to do that. With the way the wheels are configured right now, I don't even know if it's possible.
I think that's the big question is it possible to get to a point where tires aren't the scariest part of this entire thing? I mean, listen, we're talking about random cautions because a car just spins out where nobody's racing. It's just tire falls off or a flat tire randomly coming out of a turn. It's so odd. But again, this week is going to be it very well could be crazy just like that because we're looking at a place that we don't know what this track's going to run like. We don't know how it's going to react with those tires. So Atlanta is going to be worth the price of admission. If you want to see a crazy race, this Sunday is the one to watch.
For sure. And I haven't had a chance to really ask a lot of people about the tires. I think, and I certainly can, I can ask a couple of crew chiefs that I know, but I think if NASCAR's perspective, they would probably tell you that the issues are being caused by running lower tire pressures. which a lot of teams like to do because, as you build up tire pressure, you build up speed in a run. So I think that they will blink on that, like an instance of like an accident with Martin Truex Jr. And blowing a tire. So I don't know if there's enough data that proves otherwise, they might change their mind on that. But I'd say right now they would probably point to they're not running the recommended tire pressure.
And again, this speaking with Heather Williams, WCYB-TV here on Main Street Sports today, and Atlanta's spring race begins with the Camping World Truck Series, which will be, I guess, do they qualify and run the same day?
Yes, they do.
All right, so that's on Saturday. And then you will see, of course, the Cup Series will take place at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern on Fox. The Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. 500 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway is pretty fun to watch. I can tell you.
Yeah, the old well, I guess I call it the old configuration, but old timers would tell me it's not even the old configuration. But I guess the most recent configuration at Atlanta was one of my favorite tracks because of the speed. I'll be watching, in the past when they've run Atlanta, you could end up with 7 guys in the lead lap pretty quickly if somebody's dialed in. I'll be interested to see if the new car helps with that.
It probably will, actually.
Yeah, I would think that it would.
Yeah, that's a good point. And to that point, is there an opportunity for another first-time winner this week?
Oh, without a doubt. When you think about all of the drivers that are normally up there that haven't won a race this year, I mean, the aforementioned Martin Truex Jr., who's been pretty good at the previous Atlanta race. The 2 Hendrick cars that haven't won yet. Hendrick is usually pretty good at Atlanta. You look at a guy like Denny Hamlin, who is now super desperate because I think he only improved his point standings by 2 or 3 spots. I think he's 27th or 28th in the running. Kyle Busch hasn't won a race yet this year. There's still a lot of guys that are probably starting to feel the urgency a little bit, even though it's early in the year, to not let that top group get ahead of them. So I think there's probably a better chance than not. I would say money is on Kyle Larson as always, and then after that, it's wide open.
There you go. Anything else, Mo?
I think I'm good.
Well, then let's ask one more time about this Greenville basketball team, because my goodness, they are really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I guess they're 3A, right? So we could see them on Friday.
Mm-hmm. I am.
It's exciting.
I'm excited about the opportunity to see Jacoby Gillespie. I mean, obviously he's a great football player.
I was going to say great football player.
Apparently he's a great basketball player as well. And
yeah, he had Division I football and basketball honors, but offers, but basketball was his thing. And I think Belmont got a steal with him. I think he's going to be a tremendous college basketball player. He's got so much athleticism that it makes up completely for the fact that he's only about 6'2", 6'3", if that. I think he's probably not even that tall. I think that's just what they listed him at.
About to say, if that's what he's listed at, he's definitely 6'1".
Yeah. I think he's probably closer to 6 foot. But yeah, I mean, he's incredible to watch. We talked about it last week. The little bounce dunk is one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen a high schooler make in a basketball game, in a live game. And I saw Matt McClung play here for 4 years in high school, and all of the, social media buzz that he got around his athleticism. Jacoby's definitely up there.
McClung tearing it up in the G League.
Yeah, he's been, and he got a little bit of time during the times when people were having issues with COVID. He got a little run with the Bulls and with the Lakers. In the NBA, I think he only ended up getting in one game and scoring 2 points. But he's one of those guys that's right on the edge of being, a pretty good NBA player. I think size, again, is his biggest, why people aren't taking a bigger chance on him, because he's also right around 6 foot tall.
He's got bounce, though.
And they'll take on.
Oh, he does have bounce.
Good Lord.
He definitely has bounce.
They'll take on Stone Memorial at 10 a.m. Friday. So we'll get a chance to see that before our show on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. And perhaps Heather will be making the trip to the Mid-State after that one. So
yeah, if so, I'm expecting some lunch or a brunch or something with you guys when I come up there.
Well, I can tell you
about that.
Saturday is a pretty busy day for us.
Our Saturday does not look so great in terms of getting to Murfreesboro, unfortunately. But we'll be thinking good thoughts, though.
You hold it down for us, please.
Absolutely. We'll wear some green in your honor after we wash it from tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
You can report to me on Friday, and I'll report to you on Saturday.
That'll work.
Please do.
That'll work.
Heather Williams, WCYB-TV, here on Wednesday talking NASCAR. Thank you so much. As always, we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. We'll be back with the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. But first, let me refresh here. 3:02 to go in the second quarter. Bartlett leads Beach 26-24 in the Class 4A quarterfinals.
We got a good one for you.
Got a good one for you today, as always. All right. Weird news coming up. We'll be back. Main Street Sports Today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back in to Main Street Sports Today here on this Wednesday edition. It is Wild and Wacky Wednesday. Glad to have you guys with us. Couple of sports things to get out of the way real quick. Yesterday it was announced that Columbia native and former Central Lion Shaq Mason is headed south, traded from the New England Patriots to reunite with recently unretired Tom Brady to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Foxborough, Massachusetts, Tampa, Florida.
It works for me.
Yeah. I'll tell you who else it probably works for. I bet it works for Alicia McGuire real well.
Yeah, Shaq's mama is probably real happy. You say I don't have to go to Foxborough in December? This sounds like a plan to me.
Sign me up. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, much better than Foxborough. Tampa, Foxborough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a great site for the SEC basketball tournament.
No,
a phenomenal site for December football.
or January football, which is what they
hope
plan to play. Yeah. And I'm thinking Bruce Arians on the whole is probably an easier guy to get along with than Bill Belichick.
You know, and I don't want to get into a huge discussion here on sports, but that's what this show is. So, Bill Belichick.
We don't want to cut into your wild and wacky time.
Bill Belichick is he so set in his ways that he believes that he can win no matter what in the NFL, even in this climate where it's kind of you're going to have to buy Super Bowls at this point?
I think he feels like he can identify who to buy better than a lot of other people. And
how's that working out for him?
Over the long haul, it's been tough to argue. Over the last few years, and it's not worked out so great. But I think people that question whether it was Belichick or Brady feel like they've got an answer. I'm not sure how accurate it is, to be honest. Sometimes you got to give the devil his due. Belichick's not a bad coach.
No. I'm just saying. I think he does well with, and he is going to be better than average with his style.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with a little bit of modern GMing, they could be a lot better.
The thing is, it's tough to say because, as we continue to say on this show, the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. And if you don't have the quarterback, it's tough to make that ground up.
I think he feels like he's got one.
He's got a good one now.
I think
certainly the best he's had since Brady left, no question.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I mean, that goes without saying, Captain Obvious over here. But it's that culture. Obviously, it's proven.
I mean, it's proven to be better than average.
Yep.
But without Tom Brady, he's not won anything of significance as a head coach. He won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator with the Giants when Scott Norwood was wide right. But I mean, yeah, he did great with the Browns. I mean, it's the Browns. And he's done well with the Patriots without Tom Brady, but he's not won a Super Bowl. And he's probably, I don't know that he ever will. Because one, he's pretty old. And two, it's a different world. It's a different league.
Well, there's a lot of talent in that AFC too. I mean,
even in his division.
Yeah. I mean, it's competitive.
I mean,
but he's, I mean, in the NFL, but the parity is still there. It still exists. And so you could still have a hot team.
Sure.
And he's got some components. And they were playing awfully well towards the end of the season last year.
Right.
Anyway,
another NFL development, apparently.
And we'll talk more about this one tomorrow with Teresa Walker.
Absolutely. Pro Football Talk is reporting that ESPN is reporting that
Adam Schefter is the one.
that the Tennessee Titans plan to cut receiver Julio Jones.
Well, with the most recent rumor of Jarvis Landry.
Is that an upgrade?
I think it's.
If he's on the field,
I think it's probably a wash and probably cheaper.
Cheaper being the key, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean the Titans need to cut some cap.
Yeah. I just hate it because, as this article points out, the Titans gave up a second and a fourth for Jones. Who had 31 catches for 434 yards and 1 touchdown, all career lows. Missed 7 games, wasn't 100% for much of the season. Is that his fault?
I mean, he's old. It is what it is. It's his hamstring.
Yeah.
It's not really, it's nobody else's fault. It may not be his fault, but it's nobody else's.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. And if Jarvis Landry can come in and play 17 games.
That's what I'm saying. If you get somebody on the field.
He's definitely an upgrade over Chester Rogers and Noah Westbrook-Akine.
Nick?
That too.
Yeah.
Now with Tom Brady unretiring, does OJ Howard become even more gettable for the Titans? Because Gronk is probably going
Gonna
back.
go back.
Yeah. This might be a good thing.
Possibly.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
And a high-end tight end certainly added to the mix helps offset what you perceive to lose with Julio Jones.
Sure.
No question about it.
Anyway,
all right.
We'll talk about that with Teresa Walker tomorrow. The show will air from 2 to 3:30, but it will not necessarily be live. I'm just telling you. It's not going to be live.
Are we going out early?
We'll be live.
No, it's wild and wacky.
When we do
got
it.
5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
That's wild and wacky music.
I got 5 minutes.
Well, go.
Yeah, I always have music under wild and wacky.
My bad.
Lake County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a call at Montverde Academy in reference to a being inside the school's swimming pool where the swim team was trying to practice. The being was a 3-foot alligator and who apparently thought that he needed to try out for the team.
Okay.
He probably made it.
Well, he certainly didn't have any competition.
Exactly.
Hey, that's whatever it takes.
Now, understand this is a very small alligator. It's probably a baby of some sort, but it's the tweet is that a rival team spy alligator found in swimming pool, which obviously that's hey, school pranks are fun. That one I don't know about. I mean that might get somebody hurt. I mean, just your thoughts. I don't know, but anyway, I'm not getting in any pools with.
No,
it's not happening. Sorry. This is a video. This doesn't have a news story to it, but apparently there was a man inside a gas station where it looks like a Jeep. What's the new Jeep Liberty? What the Jeep Sahara or something? I don't know.
I'm not following you.
It looks like the old school square body Grand Cherokees.
Oh, the Wagoneer.
Yeah,
the really high end.
No,
not that one.
No. The really cheap Jeep.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Anyway, it plows into a gas station, and the man who is struck by the car as he's walking out the door is hit in the knees, and I mean he just straight up lifts his head and goes, "Is my beer okay?" Give you a guess where that guy's from.
Florida.
Hey. And then some really weird news from state legislatures. House Bill 2420.
Tell me it's not ours.
No, House Bill 2423 in Minnesota has, I don't know if it's passed or what, anyway, allowing most of the state of Minnesota to be absorbed by South Dakota. All of the non-Milwaukee, Minnesota, Minneapolis,
St. Paul,
almost all except that right-hand side that butts up to Wisconsin.
That would be east, Chris.
Yes. But
the right-hand side of the state.
Listen,
well, when you're looking at the map,
that's what I'm looking at, and
it's on the right.
It is on the right. So almost all of western Minnesota is very rural, kind of like eastern Oregon. Very rural, right? The mountains kind of split the state.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly here, they're like, hey,
sort of like South Dakota.
Can we be part of South Dakota? And somebody in Minnesota was like, the House of Representatives was like, I mean, we could try.
Wow.
We could put it to a vote.
What if South Dakota doesn't want them? Nay.
No.
No, bro. Y'all stay
You
over
shall not
there.
pass.
Yeah. Shun.
Oh, it did not pass. Thank goodness. But it's wild. It's awfully wild and wacky. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. I will spare us any naked guys standing on Krispy Kreme signs. And in case you're friends with me on Facebook,
Was the hot donut sign on?
The hot sign was not on.
Okay, good for him.
And yeah, because if you're outside and the hot sign's on, what do you do?
Either that or the sign could be hot too.
Well, the inside of Krispy Kreme may or may not be open these days. I know the one in Cold Springs isn't.
not.
So
Yeah.
so that's why you're not inside.
And then apparently some Florida man broke into a courthouse naked and stole the American flag.
Needed something to wrap himself
I guess.
in, right?
Yeah. So anyway, tomorrow we will be back. Teresa Walker joins us, as well as
Rick Rice.
Rick Rice,
new
that's right.
Summertown football coach
on Coach's Corner.
Yeah.
So we will have all of that for you tomorrow. More Titans talk, more Braves talk, probably.
Tune in to see who they sign next.
Yeah, and we'll get into that outfield. So see how that's going to work out. Plenty to get to. It's going to be a great day. You guys hang out with us. We'd appreciate it. So come back tomorrow, same bat time.
We may talk a little UT as well, since that's
They
why
do play.
we're taping.
Yeah. You can. I don't know how that's going to work out. Can't watch the game and watch us.
You can listen to us and
You
watch
could.
the game.
You could. So y'all come back tomorrow, 2:00 here on Main Street Sports Today. For JP and Mo, I'm Chris Yao. Have a great day.